State of emergency has been declared in Jackson, Mississippi. Stick around for this video, guys. I'm about to tell you why. Tell you, as preppers, I'm not a die-hard prepper, but I am a prepper. When we tell you to stock up and be prepared, it's not always because we're thinking about Armageddon. It's because of situations that's happening right here and right now. Hello, my karma babies. How are you guys? This is going to be a quick video. It's a quick informational video about what is occurring near me today. I decided to do this video because so many of my karma babies, I noticed in the comments, they were all asking, Granny, how are you? Are you okay? I want you guys to know that I'm doing fine, that everything is good here with me, that we are not near any of the flood waters. So let me just back up a little bit and try not to talk too fast, guys. Because I only came on to give you, a quick update as to what's going on. As many of you know, I do live in Mississippi. I'm very close to the capital, which is Jackson, Mississippi. Now, we all know that for many, many years, there's been all kinds of issues with the infrastructure in Jackson, not only with the water, but also with the streets. There's potholes everywhere. The city is in just very, very poor disarray. And from my research, because I'm that curious type, I was able to go back and, found out that a lot of this happened because of white fright, frankly. Some things, you cannot gloss over. Some things you have to come out and say what it is, what it is. In 1970, when the schools and everything became integrated, a lot of the white people moved out into a lot of the suburbs surrounding Jackson, leaving the black people there. When they left, of course, they took a lot of, the wealth is really, a lot of the wealth is held in the Caucasian community or in the white community. And so when they left and they took a lot of their businesses and they took their money, the city has been in disarray and falling ever since. With no money, you can't keep anything going. A whole city, your house, nothing, your car. You need money in order to, to make things happen. So the water, as I don't know if you guys know, but the people that live in this area, the water there has been awful. And especially the last 2 years, off and on, they have a boil water proclamation where you have to boil your water in order to drink it or to use it because it's so bad. It's so polluted and contaminated that you have to boil it in order to consume it. Well, come up to just recently, remember, I think I told you guys that I was going to go to the doctors in Jackson, but decided not to go because of the roads and all. We had heavy, heavy rain for several days. And from my understanding, the Pearl River kind of rose, and with it rising or cresting, it flooded. It flooded Jackson and a lot of the surrounding towns like Byron and, different areas like that. Nursing homes were flooded. Well, now it's gotten so bad with the water situation and the flooding situation that, first of all, they've had a boil in effect for the last 30 days. With the water and everything happening with the water facility, there's 2 water facilities that maintain for that area. Both of those water, well, one of them specifically, but they're both in dire shape. And one of them has completely, basically failed. And so for the last week or so, since we've had all this water and everything has been happening, it has been an emergency. It has been declared a state of emergency. The governor has declared it. The mayor has declared it. And the president is saying, I'm sitting here and I'm waiting to help you guys. I am sitting here and waiting to help you guys. But you know, everything boils down to being political, which is really ridiculous and, you know, it's asinine. So, you know, why aren't we asking the federal government or the government to assist? The businesses are closing down because they have no water. There's no water pressure. In many cases, you cannot flush the toilets in your homes. That's how bad it is. There's no water. As they said in some news articles, there's water everywhere, but none in sight for you to drink. People are going to the stores and buying bottled water and using bottled water when they can. Otherwise, they can't drink. They can't bathe. The fire department has said, we don't have water in the fire hydrants to put out fires. This is a dire emergency while the governor sits on his whatever and plays games instead of asking for help. We need help in that area for those people. We need them to be able to have water. We need for the businesses to be able to continue. The hospitals are in dire shape. The nursing homes, any business. Just think if you don't have water. One restaurant, a popular restaurant, I think it's called Walker's, they said they're spending $300 a day on bottled water. How long can that last? Not very long. And from watching a few news articles and listening to a few videos, my understanding is yesterday, the mayor was telling people to get out of town. He was saying, leave Jackson, Mississippi as quickly as you can because the flood waters were coming up and up. There's like 180,000 people that are suffering there with no water. A lot of the stores are limiting their water, the amount of bottled water that you can take out. Some, I heard three, packages of water. Some you can get 5, but when is that going to run out? Also, from what I read, it's going to cost $200 million in order to fix the problem that they have. $200 million. And my understanding is that the state, that they only take in $75 million a year. And with that $75 million, they've got to take care of everything. So when is it ever going to get fixed? It's not going to get fixed unless the government steps in and takes care of it. But it has to be communication between the governor, who is Tate Reeves. There has to be communication between him and between the mayor. They need to stop fighting. I don't know what their issues are, but they need to come together and serve the public like they are sworn in duty to do. They're sworn in duty to protect and to serve the people. And they're fighting amongst each other. I guess there was a press conference that the governor gave the other day, and he didn't even invite the mayor to it. I mean, that is just ridiculous. I wrote myself a few notes. I wanted to make sure that I told you guys, as quickly as possible. The schools are now doing virtual learning again, virtual online, because the children can't come in. They can't drink the water there. They can't flush the toilets. You can't survive without water, guys. You have to have water. This is one of the reasons that we talk to you about preparing. It's not for the end of the world to come. It's not for, things like that to happen. It's for things like this to happen. I made sure that I went out and got a BERKEY so that I can purify my water. I could go out in a ditch and get water and put it through my BERKEY, and it will purify my water. Now, that was an added expense for me, but it's all part of preparing and making sure that you are keeping yourself safe, making sure that you're being able to keep your family safe, that you have the water that you need, that, if you do, or in the past, well, now they can't even get the water from the tap and put purification tablets in there because the water is foul. It's horrible. You can't drink it. You can barely bathe in it. And it's been going on for years. It wasn't a matter of, if it was going to ever happen, that they were going to completely be in this situation. It was just a matter of when. Just think about it. The fire department is telling and warning their citizens that they can't even put out a fire. They cannot put out a fire. They don't have the water in the hydrants to put out a fire. You can't shower. You can't flush your toilets. How can you live in a house and you're defecating? That's however you say that. I'm sorry, guys. But defecating, and you can't flush your toilets. There's got to be a better way for people to govern. Now, the other situation that they've got going on are the potholes. When my daughter took me there the other day, it was just a miracle. I felt like we were going through a firing squad, like a minefield, because there was potholes everywhere. I heard that the other day the governor sent back millions and millions of dollars that he refused to take from the government. I didn't read into it, but why? I don't know why. Why did he send the money back when it's really needed? The money is needed. I believe that Jackson is 80% Black or African American, and so what? So does that mean that you have to do without? Does that mean that if Caucasians are not in the picture, that everything has to fall apart? Come on. Governor, mayor, you can do better. The people there, they're spending their money. They're paying their taxes. They're doing what they can. Now, we can't, people do and move where you want to move. I'm not saying stay in Jackson and keep your money there. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that we as citizens all over Mississippi, that's our capital. We are paying money for our capital to be in good standing. And it is awful. It is disgusting. The towns around it, they look beautiful, like Clinton or Byron or Flowood. I mean, if you guys saw those towns, you would think you're in a whole different part of the country. And that's because they cannot maintain. And that's because the politics, that they're not on the same page. Well, like I said, guys, I didn't want to keep this on, but they've declared a state of emergency. They have told their citizens to leave town. Who wants to stay there? Nobody wants to stay there. And the only people that are going to stay there are the people that that physically don't have the funds to be able to move, and go other places. If all of that was happening where I live, I would be hard pressed to come up with money to just get up and leave all my belongings, to leave my home, to leave my possessions, and just leave for looters to come in and take everything. We can do better than this. We can come together. And even if we don't come together, governor, mayor, you're being paid to make sure things like this don't happen. We need water to survive. You need water to survive. Well, I wanted to bring that to you guys. I'll be talking a little bit more about it in other videos, but I just wanted to rush this one out to you guys really quickly. And I just hope that they come together. But the water system has failed. It has failed in Jackson, Mississippi. And because of staffing, they say, and it takes so many years, and they have to have scientists and all of that. But now everybody's resorting to buying water. And so that's going to impact the surrounding towns because there's going to be less water, you know, for them to buy. And it's just like a chain effect, guys. It's a chain effect. So politicians, get it together. Or people, they need to be voted out. Bottom line.